Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all most sincerely for your attendance this morning as we make certain announcements with regard to the implementation of the new regulations which came into effect on May 26th of this year. The new immigration regulations were introduced to improve our ability to manage immigration effectively in a way which balances South Africa's openness to legitimate travelers as well as developmental and security imperatives. Most elements of the regulations are working well. And this is despite some asymmetries of information which have further compounded some anxiety and inertia with regard to particular aspects of the regulations. Many improvements have been effected as a result of the new regulations. Immigrants to South Africa are enjoying high-quality service and improved turnaround times at our visa facilitation centers. Skilled professionals and business people are enjoying our improved visa regime, including the ability to apply for a critical skills visa even before you finding a job, and the consideration of their families as a unit. Since the announcement of the new regulations, we have consistently maintained that we welcome constructive engagement from stakeholders on the implementation of these regulations. We thank those stakeholders who have engaged us substantively and constructively. The information acquired has assisted us and empowered the department to serve South Africans and foreign visitors and our various stakeholders more efficiently. Subsequent to our meeting with the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Derek Anekom, we have also met with tourism and aviation industry stakeholders, including representatives from IATA, ASATA, the South African Tourism Council, and announced the formation of a joint task team between the department and the industry as a vehicle for ongoing engagement. We are enormously pleased with the establishment of this task team and trust that its representatives will bring, industry representatives will bring invaluable perspectives and information on the tourism and travel sector and help us improve communication with their clients and the sector as a whole. We have further continued to engage with the representatives of the film industry and soccer fraternity. The different stakeholders have drawn our attention to the challenges relating to the new requirements for traveling children, which come into effect on October 1st, 2014. Which were instituted to ensure the safety of children in line with the Children's Act of 2005 and our own international obligations. In particular, the stakeholders have highlighted challenges regarding the requirement that all children entering or exiting South Africa be in possession of a passport, an unabridged birth certificate, and written permission from both parents or guardians of the child authorizing that child's travel. While the requirement that all children possess a passport has been implemented successfully, challenges have been raised regarding the requirements for an unabridged birth certificate and written permission. Stakeholders have alerted us to two main challenges. Firstly, of ensuring accurate and timely communication to missions abroad, travel operators, and prospective travelers around the world about the new requirements. And secondly, that parents and those authorized to travel with children have time to obtain the required documentation in time for their travel plans. It was put to the department that while the new regulations are accepted as necessary and are fully supported, due to these challenges mentioned above, and particularly in light of the upcoming peak travel periods for families, which is December to January for the festive season, and April for Easter, a postponement would greatly assist travelers and the sectors as a whole. The department has taken this input into consideration along with our obligation to ensure the safety of children entering or exiting the Republic. Having taken all of this into account, we have granted a postponement of these two particular requirements, the unabridged birth certificate and written permission, to June 1st, 2015. During this postponement, I have directed the Deputy Director General, Mr. Jackie McKay, sitting on my right, responsible for immigration services, to work intensively with industry stakeholders to ensure that accurate information is available to all prospective travelers accompanying children all around the world, and allow those travelers time to gather the necessary information and documents. Whilst the requirements will be the same for South Africans and citizens of other countries, for foreigners' purposes, an unabridged birth certificate is merely a birth certificate from the responsible authority in their country, which lists the particulars of the child's parents. In the instance where this information is contained on the child's passport, this too shall be acceptable. To ensure that the security of children is not undermined during this period, our officials will be on high alert and will use other means, including additional screening, vetting, and interviews such as are necessary to ensure all traveling children are authorized to do so. It is important to note that the implementation of the regulations should not affect South African children born from the 3rd of March 2013 onwards, as the department began issuing unabridged birth certificates on the spot for those children whose births were registered from that date. Therefore, the population of children or minors that will be affected by the implementation of these regulations would be children born between 1996 and February 2013. We have established that approximately 17 million children were born during this period. Out of this population, approximately 1.1 million have been issued with valid South African passports. The postponement, as well as today's statement, is aimed at encouraging citizens to apply well in advance and obtain the required unabridged birth certificates for the minors and children they intend traveling with. Furthermore, between now and the implementation date of the regulations, citizens who apply for passports in respect to children or minors will be encouraged by frontline officials to apply for unabridged birth certificates for such minors at the same time. In closing, we would like to encourage all our stakeholders to participate further, to anticipate further regulatory changes from the Department of Home Affairs, in particular around the Births and Deaths Registration Act. We envision amending the Act to implement more stringent processes for the late registration of births, which we intend to end after December 2015. In this regard, we call on South Africans to comply with our plea that they register the births of their children either in the hospitals at which the child was born or within the first 30 days at any of our offices across the country, so that we are able to capture their registration of birth timely. Because going into the future, the early registration of birth will be the only gateway into the National Population Register for any South African. Thereafter, the early registration of birth, as I have said, immediately at the hospital or within 30 days, will be the only way into the National Population Register, and therefore we expect that everybody would comply with the regulations that we are implementing, because we do need to safeguard the integrity of the National Population Register and subsequently of the documents which we issue, whether for identification or travel. Thank you.